Tell everybody about that event and how successful it was and what you achieved there.
So basically I had an event called Girl Hold My Hand Winter Weekend, and it was where 30 women qualified to be able to attend the entire weekend. It kicked off Friday. How do most women connect? Through shopping, through having some wine, or dancing and enjoying themselves. So it kicked off Friday with just Stormy's closet shopping experience, networking, connecting, dancing. I told the DJ, make sure you play some old school music. These women partied like it was 2022, and they was the last day of the year, and they was going into 2023. So Friday was just so much fun. Like, I hadn't danced like I danced on Friday probably in a long time, for real. Saturday we woke up with meditation and stretching, and we walked the community. It was very expensive homes, mansions, $20 million homes, $30 million homes, $40 million homes. So we was able to walk the neighborhood and just manifest and open up our reticular activating system. And I told all the women to identify their homes, identify the driveway you want, the front door you want, the backyard you want, the just identify the color. Like, find your house and literally walk the neighborhood and put it together so that you can start to believe that you can have. And so we had an incredible walk through the neighborhood. We walked through the neighborhood for 1 hour. Then we got back in the house and we went around the pool and we had barbecue and we connected with each other, and we took it was content day, content, connection, and communication day. So that day was designed for you to meet at least 3 powerful women, create new relationships, new sisters that you could possibly create long-term relationships with, women that can open doors for you. And I mean, Saturday we ended with very deep conversations about the things that you must do to get out of your head and into your life. I had some powerful guest women that came. I had Natasha Main, the Vogue attorney. She is a very powerful, prominent divorce attorney. She was there. She was able to impart into the women. I had Tammy Price, who is one of my millionaire students, who was able to go from homeless to 7 figures plus, in just 1 year. She was one of the guests that was there. She's actually the woman, I don't know if you saw the video, that has gone bonkers all over the world, gone viral. I also had Natalie, not Natalie, but I had Annetta Powell there. Annetta Powell is my angel. She is someone who does big things in the real estate market industry. She's an investor. She owns tax businesses. She was able to impart in the women. I had Tina. Tina owns 8 Wingstop franchises. She was the first woman to open up a Wingstop franchise in Florida, and she now owns 8. And then I had Tamika Mallory, who was there as like a civil rights activist. She worked for Al Sharpton for 14 years, in part. And Claudine Hibbert, who was a successful realtor and an investor, she was there. So it was a powerful weekend with powerful women. And then Sunday we partied. We went on a yacht, my yacht. It was a beautiful experience. I was able to take the women on my yacht. We went on the water, we jet skied, we swam, we partied, we ate, we danced. We just enjoyed each other's company. So it was a very powerful weekend that was designed to inspire and to help them to elevate mentally. I believe that the highest human act is inspiration. And so they left that weekend very inspired. And it was only for people either in my community or people that were coming to impart.
Well, the thing that you did with them is so important, because I used to drive all over Miami Beach and Miramar and Coral Gables and Fort Lauderdale, looking at beautiful mansions and imagining myself being in them, not just cleaning them, as I did when I went with my mama. and what it does, it's in alignment with what we're taught. I'll give you all your eyes can see. And that experience that you provided for women with Girl Hold My Hand expands their vision. And as you said, activate the reticular activating system in their brain. It's a group-like cells at the base of the brain that filters what gets through, what danger there might be, and what's important to you. And it peaks their level of awareness. And it's really a success mechanism that when you're focused, and that's why our conversation is about stay focused and keep it moving. When you are focused, what it does, it allows you to see things that the masses can't see because they're caught up in the distractions. And when you're on this path, things happen. And there always will be distractions. That's a part of the process. That's why they call this the attention economy. And that's why alcoholism has increased in the United States and around the world. And the suicide rate has increased because people are focused more on their problems rather than on solutions, on what is it I need to do? Who is it I need to be that can move my life forward? And here's the thing about it. You're making impact with women from all walks of life around the world. And when you do that, and I want people to listen to what I'm about to say, you're going to get some pushback. You're going to have some critics. And here's the thing about critics. There's never been a statue erected to a critic. Now, I saw you talking to this lady about what she was eating, and she obviously was where I was. I used to be on a seafood diet. That everything I saw, I ate it. And I saw you licking your fingers and everything. I said, you know what? I was salivating. I said, that's got to be some good chicken up in here. And what I know is that the kind of work that you're doing with women, oddly enough, we need more of that, because the kind of work that you're doing will allow us to create a new kind of culture. And nobody else is doing what it is that you're doing, exposing people to a larger vision of themselves. And I like for Vanessa to cue up the promotional video, because if she can play it, I like for people to see what that experience was, and how when people would come and see the excitement in their eyes. I wanted to put on one of my sister, Margaret Ann Sampson. I'm not going to tell you her name. I threatened to put on one of my sister's wigs and put a scarf around my face and get a pair of your shoes, put some Vaseline in those shoes and push my feet in them and sneak in there. I wanted to come. You said, no, this is for women only. And I think that the more communities that are created around values, around things that you believe in, around dreams, around content that can give you methods and techniques on how to create the next greatest version of yourself, around the relationships that you can build, collaborative, achievement-driven, supportive relationships that will allow you to begin to put your success on steroids. The more events that we have of that nature, we can begin to become the dominant culture rather than the smaller culture. I strongly believe the world exists as it does because people of darkness and evil, they work harder than people who are doing some good work. And you're doing some good work, and your goal is to multiply the voices, multiply the level of consciousness, and help people to know and to believe and discover the truth about themselves. As Bob Proctor would say, you were born rich. When I think about your background and the experience that you came from, you decided that where you were was not going to be your destiny. So I want you to talk about the dramatic, radical change that took place in Stormy, that when you looked at yourself one day, a moment, and you said to that person that was looking back at you, this is not me. I've got to do something differently. Let's talk about that moment.
You know, to be honest with you, like I've had several of those moments. I call them my defining moments.
Yes.
And I remember one of the moments, I was probably around 13 years old. And it just came to my mind. I remember telling my mom that I'm so inspired by you. And I remember her that day getting excited. And I was like, no, Mom, I'm inspired not to be like you. And
hold on, okay, you can't run past that like that. Don't go crash. Come on, hold it. Pump your brakes, my sister. Pump your brakes. You said, I'm inspired by you. And she was excited. Mm-hmm. And then what did you say?
I told her that I was inspired not to be like her. And I knew it was going to hurt her feelings. But my dad used to always teach me when I was a little girl, tough love. Tough love just does something to you. And most people learn through tough love than through soft love. And I knew it was going to piss her off, but I wanted her to make a change. And when I say I wanted her to make a change, my mom used to be a drug dealer, and my mom used to use the drugs she sold. And I remember we had a Jack and Jill bathroom where it was my room, the bathroom, and her room. And my mom smoked cigarettes, and she smoked weed, and she smoked crack. And I was 13 years old, and I would know the difference between how she was smoking, when she was smoking weed, when she was smoking cigarettes, and when she was smoking crack, because the flick sound of the lighter. One flick was a cigarette. 2 flicks was the weed. Multiple flicks was crack.
Whoa.
So I used to know what she was doing by the flicks. That's why to this very day, I don't like to hear the flick of a lighter, because it reminds me, it triggers that time in my life when my mom was on crack. So I remember telling her at 13 years old that I'm inspired not to be like you. And my mom later on told me that because I shared with her that I knew the difference between weed, crack, and cigarettes, that was the day she quit smoking. That was the day she quit smoking crack, because of that tough love I gave her. So I grew up understanding tough love. I grew up having tough love from my dad, tough love from my mom, and it helped me to become the woman I am today. And so I'm hard on myself, and I'm very tough on the people around me, because I never transformed through soft love, and the people around me never transformed through soft love. It was always the tough love. And so I could also remember my defining moment. It was about 2013. I was probably 60 pounds heavier. I had just given birth to my son, and I didn't realize that after I had lost my mom took her last breath as I was holding her hand. I didn't realize that it took me to a very dark place. I didn't know my mom was dying. August 26th of 2011, I watched her take her last breath, and she passed away. And for the first 90 days, I was strong. I was fighting. I was doing my thing. And literally like 90 days later, I went through a depression. I was depressed for 3.5 years. And in that depression, I got married. In that depression, I went from making $80,000 a month to literally applying for food stamps. And I moved into this really dark house. It had dark furniture, dark walls, no light would come in. I had a Porsche Panamera at the time. I couldn't afford to pay the car note on the Panamera. The check engine light would come on all the time. So I remember putting a sticky note over the check engine light, because I just couldn't look at the check engine light. And I used to wake up every day, and I used to think, man, I'm just waking up on the wrong side of the bed. And I remember one day I went to church, right? And the pastor was just talking about just the relationship with yourself and how you got to make powerful decisions versus popular decisions. And I remember in that moment, I came home, and when I went home that day, I went home realizing that something was significantly wrong with me. I no longer was willing to accept the fact that I woke up on the wrong side of the bed. At this point, I had gotten married to someone that I would have never married. I had no friends, no family around. I literally isolated myself. And long story short, I remember reading this book called The Magic of Believing by John Claude Bristol.
Yes.
John Claude Bristol. And in that book, he talked about the mirror technique. And I was desperate. I had prayed, I fasted. At this point in my life, I wouldn't curse. I would wear, shirts up to here. I wouldn't show no legs, no cleavage. I was very conservative. I was in church on Wednesday. I was in church on Saturday, helping clean up. I was in church on Sunday. Like, I was a very holier than thou church girl in church every day.
Okay, but I want you to pause for a moment. You made a lot of money and you lost it. How did you lose it?
I lost my mind. When I lost my mom, I lost myself. So after I lost my mom, I didn't have it no more. A piece of me was taken. Yes. And I was depressed for 3.5 years after I had lost my mom.
How did you make the money that you earned? What did you do? What was the profession or the business that you were involved in?
Multi-level marketing. My claim to fame came through distribution and multi-level marketing.
Yes. Interactive distribution. Fantastic. And so you had lost your mind, and now there you are spiraling from depression of losing your mother, and your life is just a wreck. So how did you get back on track? How did you get back on the path to become the Stormy that we see now?
So I read the book, The Magic of Believing. I had I did the fast, and I did the praying, I did the no cursing, I did the no clubbing, I did the just really in the Bible. I would read the book of Proverbs every day, 31 Proverbs, 31 days. Like, listen. And after reading The Magic of Believing, I'm like, I gotta figure this out. And I remember reading a passage in the book that talked about the mirror technique. And it talked about how you go in the mirror and you just have an experience with yourself. And so one day I'm like, I'm already down. What's the worst case scenario? So I went in the bathroom and I locked the door, and I just went in the mirror and I looked deep into my soul, and I had a serious discussion with myself. I looked at myself and I'm like, what happened to you? You're fat, you're broke, you don't have no friends, you live in this house that it looks horrible. And I had lost myself. But in that moment, I like cursed myself out. I'm like, what's going on with you? I'm cursing myself out in this mirror. And I decided to leave myself in the bathroom, my old self in the bathroom that day. And I remember crying, tears coming out down my eyes, snot coming out of my nose. I'm gonna tell you the truth. I cursed Les Brown. I call myself every B, every stupid, every name that you can think about. I call myself every name. And I decided that I was not gonna be the same woman that walked in the bathroom that walked out. And when I walked out of that bathroom, it's like, for real, it's like the scales was removed from my eyes. And I'm like, what am I doing with this man? How did I marry this guy? Oh my God. I started opening the blinds. I'm like, this house is dark. Why is this house dark? I started opening the blinds. I went in the refrigerator. I'm looking at the food. It was margaritas at the time, strawberries, margaritas. I had old, what is that place called? Old Chipotle in the refrigerator. Like, I'm looking at my house. My car was dirty. My closet was dirty. Everything was dirty. I just saw everything. And I just started cleaning up everything. I opened up the windows, turned on some music, opened up the windows, the blinds, and I just started like literally repairing my life after I had realized 3.5 years later what I had done to myself. I really did not realize what I had done to myself.
It's amazing how we experience things and people handle things differently. But that moment, you said the woman who went in the bathroom, you left her in there and you came out, and this person emerged, and you begin to continue to pursue in the area of self-development. And you have built an incredible community of Girl Hold My Hand, and you've impacted women and men around the world.
Here it is. Stop knocking on an open door. You have the power. You, your voice, you, your experiences, you, your knowledge, you, the things that you have gone through. Some things happen to you and some things happen for you. You're a gold mine. Coming out of this place where we are, will be millionaires, billionaires, and witnesses. And those of you that listen to me, you're going to be a millionaire or a billionaire, but you won't be a witness. You won't just be standing around saying, I wonder what happened. No. Watch as well as pray. I like what Mary McLeod Bethune says. She said, pray as if everything depends upon God, but work as if everything depends upon you. If you're ready to, just if you believe that there's more in you, if you knew how to get it out, you'd have gotten it out. Come on, let's be real. Why'd you hire Mike Williams? Because I'd gone as far as I could go with the thinking and the approach that I had used. That's why I said the thinking that has brought me this far has created some problems that this thinking can't solve. And most people won't give it up. They won't say, you know what? I don't know everything. The majority of people think they know everything, that everything they know right now is all that they will know. The majority of people buy a book and don't read past the first chapter. Let me tell you something. February 17th, I still read. I'm still learning. I'm still growing. I got children, I got grandchildren, and I have 5 great-grandsons, one called King 7. Hell yeah, Valentino, he was born February the 7th, just a couple of days ago. He's a bad little dude. He's coming for you. Oh, yes, he smiles at his daddy, Patrick. He's coming for you. He just looks so lovingly at his daddy. I can't wait to hold him. I can't hold him now. I can just look at him on Zoom. This is not right. This is just too much. I can't hold my great grandson because I don't want to put his life in danger, or his mother's, my granddaughter, or my son. This is different. This is so different. That's why we need to have things for our mind, have strategies for our mind. I'm encouraging you to go online and Google Les Brown speaking in the Georgia Dome and watch that speech on a regular basis. And Les Brown speaking It's Possible, and Les Brown and Miles Monroe. Watch those and listen to those on a regular basis and getting unstuck. Stuff power for your mind. And for those of you that want to use the computer to bring your personality out, because you have the opportunity now. It's a level playing field. Everybody's got to do it from here. Everybody, you can order food. I mean, you don't have to leave your house. You can just pick up a phone. Instacart, I think they call that thing. They'll deliver it to your door. You just wait until they leave. And then you get your Lysol to go out and spray it and drag it in the house. This is a different place. Now, some people don't go. They don't care. They go out. I ain't going nowhere. No, not at all. No. I'm fine right here. Oh, boy. If you're ready to be coached, if you are ready to be stretched by me, if you want to be a world-class entrepreneur and business person, this is the new platform. Everybody's got to operate from here. Everybody. You want to invest in yourself. That's what I did. You want to develop your personality so you can get through there. It's not enough just to share information. You put me up against anybody. They can have PhD, MBA, or CB. CB stands for cornbread. That's me. You give them a computer, give me one, and let us go head to head. I'll get the butter from the duck. It's a level playing field. This is a golden age right now. Incredible opportunity for people who invest in themselves and get the coaching they need to bring out their personality, their passion, their energy, and how to monetize their knowledge and their skills. When a team have a losing season, they don't fire the players. You know what they do? They get a winning coach. You get a coach who wins. That's what they get. You want to be the best. You want to be coached by the best. I don't say this to impress you, but to impress upon you. Coaching matters. It matters. And so when you are serious and want a competitive edge and you want to win, I'm looking for people who are hungry to win. That's how I got here. I was hungry to win. I didn't care about your PhD or MBA. I was hungry to win, to control my own personal economy, to control my life, to take care of my mother, to buy my mother a home. I was hungry to do something that's me. It's me. I got tired of being fired. I'm not mentally fit to work for somebody for the rest of my life. There's some people that are. I remember a guy that I hired as my consultant. I'll never forget when I went to the city where I went to see him and spent a whole day with him, and he looked at me with amazement. And his wife said, when I left that day, he stopped me at the door and he said, "Thank you for turning to me as a consultant to train you how to speak and address corporations." He said, "But you know something, Les? I said, no, I wouldn't hire you. I said, why? I have an MBA. You think if it were in fact possible to speak to corporations around the world, I got an MBA, you think I would be working on this job where I'm working 65 to 70 hours a week? You think I don't have anything else to do with my time? He said, I'm just telling you, I got the check. I'm just telling you, you're wasting your time. They're not going to hire you. I said, thank you. He said, you ought to give this up, man, and try and find a job in another city as a disc jockey. I said, man, that's behind me. I'm not looking back. I want to do something different with my life. And Mike Williams is with me. And his wife said, the two of them went to the window, looking out the window as I was getting in my car. And she asked him, do you think he's going to listen to you and give up this crazy idea of speaking to corporations and speaking around the world, even though he doesn't have an MBA like you, or any college at all, or any corporate experience? And he said, to his credit, he said, no. And she was stunned. She said, why? I thought you were very convincing. Why? He believes in you and what you say. And he said, he doesn't know enough to know that he can't do it. And so he's going to go forward. He's going for it anyhow. See, sometimes you've got to be intelligently ignorant. You don't know what you can't do. According to the laws of aerodynamics, a bumblebee isn't supposed to fly because its large body cannot be held up by its little puny wings. But the bumblebee doesn't know it. Sometimes you've got to be intelligently ignorant. Lean not unto thine own understanding. There's some things that does not fit within the realm of logic and reasoning and being practical. That's why we're taught to judge not according to appearances. You got greatness in you. Don't you judge yourself based upon your failures, based upon your past, based upon the stuff you've gone through. No! Greater is he that's in you than he that's in the world. No! You were born to do good stuff. No! You are more than a conqueror. And if life knocks you down, try and land on your back, because you can look up, you can get up. If you're ready to get back up and control your own economy, if you're ready to get back up and control your own life and be your own boss, and let me show you how to do that. I can hook you up. Oh, he's on fire. Oh, behave. Whatever. Better must come. As Althea Grant said. I want you to say that to yourself. You're going through some stuff right now? I want you to say, better must come, in a voice of defiance. She was under her aunt's bed and her aunt treated her like dirt. Her mother dropped her off and then let her know, I'm leaving the country, and left her with an aunt that treated her like nothing. And she heard a song called Better Must Come. And that was the mantra that kept her from losing her mind. Sometimes we need something that we can hold on to, something in spite of our situation, something in spite of the abuse, something in spite of the cruelty, something in spite of the hopeless situation that we find ourselves in, that we can hang on to and say, better must come. Better must come. It's a scripture that when I first heard it and read it, I just said, oh boy, that's cold-blooded. I couldn't wrap my mind around it. It didn't have any compassion in it. He that hath shall get, and he that hath not, even that he has shall be taken away. Oh my God. You saying it? He that hath, the person who hath, they will get, and the person who don't have, even that little bit they have, shall be taken away. That doesn't seem right. But there's a question. He that hath what? Vision. People without vision perish. Ambition, drive, a willingness to work, stubbornness, perseverance, faith that roars so loudly it doesn't give you an opportunity to hear the doubts that you have within yourself. You have those qualities, you will get. You have those qualities, you restore everything you lost and more. You have those qualities, angels will make room for you. Come. Let's intervene here, because he won't quit. She won't stop. We've done everything and they won't stop. Come, we got to intervene now. And then let's go find a wimp, somebody who's stopped, somebody who's allowing themselves to be consumed by fear. They're weak. Yeah, because God has not given them a spirit of fear, but of power. They ain't got no power. They're consumed in fear. They can't even think straight. God has not given us a spirit of fear, but of power and of a sound mind. This place where you are, where I am, this place, we've been picked out to be picked on. This place, we are more than conquerors. This place is a testimony, no testimony. This place, no guts, no glory. This place, faith not tested, can't be trusted. This faith will find a way. Yeah. We need to know that. We need to saturate ourselves with words that will empower us right now. Our children are watching. Our children are not okay. There's an article, Google it. Our kids are not okay. The suicide rate among children, teenagers, and younger soaring because they're watching us. See, how we live our lives, Jim Rohn said this, how we live our lives, it can be a warning or an example. Did you hear me? How we live our lives, our children are watching. It will be a warning or an example. A warning of what not to do, or an example of what to do when tragedy and interruptions and crises show up. Therefore, take unto you the whole armor of God, that ye may be able to withstand in the evil day, that having done all to stand. This is our time to stand. This is our time to be actively engaged in this thing called life. Our children are watching us. There are generations yet unborn that are depending on us. There are people who gave their lives, like a John Lewis said, create some good trouble. It's our time. It's our time. You have something special. God is on your side. If God is for you, who can be against you? You got a winning team. I'm looking for, and I'm on a mission for people who can hear me. If at some point in time when you're a little kid or a grown person, you're going through some stuff and you heard my voice. And the reason you heard it, because what's in me is also in you. And the reason you responded and came out of the darkness into the light, because there's a calling on you to do the same thing. You and I are cut from the same cloth. You're branches of the same tree. If my message and my method and my approach resonates with you, I'm not talking about my hairstyle. My kid didn't play hairstyle and I'm kid, no. I'm talking about my message. And you have a message in you. You have a story in you. You would like to help people, the millions of people who need to hear a multitude of voices. I want you to put voice in the comment section. Put voice in the comment section. And allow us to introduce you to the Power Voice system that teaches you how to tell your story, that teach you how to create an experience with your voice and your story, to transform people individually and collectively. Allow me to mentor and to coach you to bring out the greatness in yourself and to bring out the greatness in others. If that's your calling, I love to tell you, and I will always remind you, a job is what you get paid for. A calling is what you're made for. If it's your calling, put voice in the comment section. If you can hear me in your heart, I'm not challenging your ability to hear with your ears, because you wouldn't still be here with me. I don't have any prints translating my words. So if you're still here, the only reason you're listening, because what's in me, it's in you. You and I are cut from the same cloth. We are branches of the same tree. It's time to make a decision. Put voice in the comment section. We don't know how much time we have left, do we? Michael Jackson said, "This is it." And it was. Okay. Put voice in the comment section. Live each day as it were your last. Because what we learned from the coronavirus, one day it will be. Toby Gatson, we graduated together at Booker T. Washington High School in Miami, 1963. Wow. Classmate had COVID-19 and he kicked COVID's butt. Toby, I'm so happy for you, brother. So happy. Prayed hard for you, but you always been a fighter since we were in high school. Boy, I tell you, you and Larry Littles, who played for the Miami Dolphins, boy, we went to school. We would miss school because we were characters. We were always clowning. We always wanted to know, what will we do next? We came to see each other for cafeteria and physical education. Oh my goodness. Oh boy, that's back in the day. I hear young people today, these millennials, talking about back in the day. They don't know anything about back in the day. I got t-shirts older than them. But at 75, my goal is to finish strong. At 75, my goal is to train the best speakers on the planet. At 75, my goal is to find people who are hungry to make an impact with their lives, who are hungry to learn how to use and access their power voice, who are hungry to live a life that will outlive them. Yeah, you forget your years will forget you. And I want to leave this with you. As you look at your goals, be stubborn about your goals. Be stubborn. Don't give up on your goals. You will fail your way to success. Don't give up on your goal. Know your vitamin, as Suzanne de Pass would say. Don't give up on your goal. Be stubborn about your goals. Be flexible and versatile. Ask for help. A lot of people won't do that because of ego edging God out, because a lot of people, as a result of pride cometh before a fall. Ask for help. Not because you're weak, but because you want to remain strong. You don't have to figure it out. Get started. Do what you can with what you have, and God will do what you can't.